Have you ever felt tired in a way that sleep cannot fix? Not physically tired, soul tired. The kind of tired that comes from always being available, always understanding, always forgiving, always saying yes when every part of you wants to say no. You answer messages even when you need silence. You help people even when you are falling apart. You stay calm, polite, and kind. While inside, resentment grows like a quiet fire. And the painful part is this. People praise you for being nice. They call you sweet, dependable, selfless, easy to talk to. But behind those compliments, your real life is slowly collapsing. Your energy is gone. Your needs feel unimportant. And somewhere deep inside, you are starting to ask a question that scares you. If I stop being this nice, will anyone still love me? This is the wound. Many people think being nice is a virtue. Sometimes it is. But many times, what you call being nice is not love. It is fear. Fear of disappointing others, fear of being seen as selfish, fear of losing your place in other people's hearts. So you smile when you are hurt. You agree when you disagree. You give when you are empty. And you keep doing it until one day you no longer know where your kindness ends and your self-betrayal begins. Listen carefully. Kindness is beautiful. Warm heart is a gift. But when kindness has no boundaries, it becomes self-destruction. When you spend your whole life protecting other people from discomfort, you end up abandoning yourself. And the truth is harsh, but healing, being too nice, does not make people respect you more. It often teaches them to use you. It does not create deeper love. It does not make you peaceful. It makes you silent, anxious, and emotionally hungry. Today I want to speak to the part of you that is exhausted from carrying everyone else's emotions. The part of you that has confused people, pleasing with goodness. The part of you that is ready to heal, but still feels guilty for even wanting rest. This is not a message about becoming cold. It is not about becoming selfish. It is not about closing your heart. It is about learning a deeper form of love. A love that includes you too. Because a person who is kind to everyone except themselves is not healed. They are disappearing. And if you continue down this path, you may wake up one day with a strange feeling that you have lived your whole life for everyone else, and no one truly knows you. So let us talk honestly. Let us go gently, and let us begin with a simple truth. You were not born to be used. You were not born to be endlessly agreeable. You were not born to earn love by shrinking yourself. You were born to live fully, truthfully, and with dignity. And that begins the moment you stop asking, how can I make everyone happy? And start asking, what is this costing my soul? Many people who are too nice are not weak people. They are sensitive people, aware people. People who learned very early that peace had to be protected. People who discovered, often in childhood, that being easy, helpful, quiet, or pleasing kept them safe. Maybe you grew up in a home where anger was dangerous, so you became careful. Maybe love was inconsistent, so you became useful. Maybe your needs were ignored, so you learned not to have too many. Maybe you were only praised when you were good. So you built your identity around never causing trouble. And as the years passed, this survival strategy became your personality. Now people say, that's just how you are. You're such a nice person. But inside, you know there is pain hidden in that sentence. Because being too nice often means you apologize for things that are not your fault. You feel guilty for resting. You over-explain simple decisions. You keep giving chances to people who keep hurting you. You say yes with your mouth and no with your body. You avoid hard conversations until resentment poisons your peace. You accept crumbs because asking for more feels selfish. And worst of all, you begin to believe that your worth comes from what you can do for others. This is dangerous. Because when your value depends on being useful, needed, agreeable, or emotionally available. You stop living as a human being and start living as a service. Then your relationships become confusing. You feel close to people, but unseen. You feel needed, but not protected. You feel surrounded, but lonely. Why? Because if you hide your true feelings to keep love, then people are not loving the real you. They are loving your performance. That is why people pleasers often feel deeply alone. They are constantly with others, but rarely in truth. You may say, "But I'm just trying to be a good person." I understand. But goodness without honesty is not goodness. It is fear wearing a halo. A truly good person is not someone who never says no. A truly good person is not someone who never upsets anyone. A truly good person is not someone who abandons themselves to keep the peace. A truly good person tells the truth with compassion, protects their energy without hatred, helps when they genuinely can, and says no when saying yes would become a lie. That is maturity. That is spiritual strength. That is psychological health. Being too nice is destroying you because it puts your nervous system in a constant state of tension. You are always reading faces, always adjusting your words, always trying to prevent disappointment, always monitoring the emotional weather around you. This is exhausting. Even when you look calm on the outside, inside you are bracing, inside you are asking, are they upset? Did I say the wrong thing? Should I send another message? Should I help more? Should I explain myself again? This is not peace. This is hypervigilance. And over time, it creates anxiety, resentment, emotional burnout, and quiet depression. The tragedy is that many nice people do not allow themselves to admit this, because even their pain must be polite. They do not say, "I am angry." They say, "It's okay, I understand." They do not say, "You hurt me." They say, "Maybe I'm just too sensitive." They do not say, "I need space." They say, "Sorry, I've just been a little busy." They soften every truth until even they cannot hear it anymore. So the anger has nowhere to go. The grief has nowhere to go. The self has nowhere to go. And when the self has nowhere to go, it begins to disappear. This is why being too nice can quietly destroy your confidence. Every time you betray your own boundary, your mind learns a painful lesson. My feelings are less important. My needs are inconvenient. My truth is dangerous. Other people matter more. At first, this seems small, but repeat itself. Betrayal becomes identity. Then one day someone asks you a simple question. What do you want? And you do not know. Not because you are simple, not because you have no depth, but because you have spent so long shaping yourself around others that your inner voice has become faint. This is why healing matters, not so you become harder, but so you become real again. Let me tell you a short Zen story. There was once a young monk who was loved by everyone in the monastery. He was always smiling, always helping, always the first to carry water, sweep floors, cook meals, and comfort others. If someone asked for help, he said yes. If someone interrupted his rest, he smiled. If someone forgot their duty, he quietly did it for them. The other monks admired him. They said, "He is so humble, so kind, so pure." But slowly, the young monk became tired, then bitter, then empty. He still smiled, but now the smile felt heavy. He still helped, but inside he felt angry. He began to avoid silence, because when he was alone, he could hear a painful truth. I am giving from exhaustion, not from peace. One morning, he went to the old Zen master and said, "Master, I do everything for everyone. I serve. I listen. I never complain. But my heart feels hard. Why?" The old master handed him a beautiful clay cup and said, "Take this cup to the river and fill it with water." The young monk did so. When he returned, the master said. Now keep pouring water from the cup into these bowls. The monk poured until the cup was empty. Then he looked up. The master said, Continue. The monk replied, I cannot, the cup is empty. The master smiled and said, And yet this is how you live. The monk was silent. Then the master said, You believe kindness means never refusing. But if you pour when empty, you do not give water. You give dryness. You do not give peace. You give hidden resentment. You do not give love. You give fear. The young monk asked. Then what is true kindness? The master answered. To fill your cup in silence, to pour only what is real, and to let others carry their own bowls when it is their turn. The monk bowed his head and began to cry, not because he was weak, but because for the first time he understood he had not been serving from wisdom. He had been serving from fear of being unworthy if he stopped. Many of us are that monk. We think we are being loving, but often we are just afraid to disappoint. We think we are helping, but often we are rescuing. We think we are peaceful, but often we are avoiding the truth. And the deepest pain is this. We wait for others to notice our exhaustion and finally care for us. But many people will not. Not because they are evil, but because we train them to expect endless access. This is why boundaries are not punishment. They are instruction. They teach people where you end and where without them, love becomes confusion. So how do you stop being too nice without becoming cold? How do you remain kind, but no longer self-destructive? Here are 4 actionable psychological tips. Replace automatic. Yes, with the sacred pause. The first practice is simple, but powerful. Stop answering immediately. When someone asks for your time, energy, help, attention, money, or emotional labor, do not give an instant. Yes, take a pause, say, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. I need to check my schedule. Give me a little time. This pause is healing because it interrupts your old pattern. People, pleasing lives in speed. Truth lives in stillness. When you answer too fast, you are usually not responding from wisdom. You are responding from anxiety. The pause allows you to ask, do I really want to do this? Do I have the energy? Am I saying yes from love or from guilt? Will I resent this later? Is this mine to carry? This one small habit can change your life, because every pause reminds your nervous system, I am allowed to consult myself. That is dignity. Learn to disappoint others without abandoning yourself. This is one of the hardest lessons in emotional healing. If you are too nice, you may believe that someone's disappointment means you did something wrong. It does not. Sometimes people are disappointed simply because you finally stopped over-giving. That is not cruelty. That is recalibration. A boundary often feels harsh only to those who benefited from your lack of one. So start small. Say no to things you do not have the capacity for. Say no without a long explanation. Say no kindly, but clearly. For example, I can't do that this time. I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. I need to rest tonight. I'm not able to take this on. Then breathe. Do not rush to fix their reaction. Do not over-explain. Do not turn your boundary into a guilty speech. Let them feel what they feel. You are not responsible for managing every emotional wave in every room. This is a deep psychological shift. From I must keep everyone comfortable, to I can be loving without being endlessly available. That is freedom. Stop confusing guilt with guidance. Many nice people think, if I feel guilty, I must be doing something bad. Guilt is not always wisdom. Sometimes guilt is just the emotional alarm that goes off when you break an unhealthy pattern. If you have spent years saying yes, then your first no will feel uncomfortable. If you have spent years over-explaining, then being direct will feel rude. If you have spent years rescuing others, then stepping back will feel selfish. But feeling guilty does not mean you are wrong. It may simply mean you are growing. Ask yourself, is this guilt coming from my values or from my conditioning? Values say, conditioning says, they are upset, so I must have done something wrong. There is a difference. Learn to sit with guilt for a few moments without obeying it immediately. Sometimes guilt is not a message to return. It is a threshold to cross. Build a life where your needs become visible to you again. If you have been too nice for a long time, you may not even know what you feel or need anymore. So begin rebuilding your relationship with yourself. Every day ask, what am I feeling right now? What do I need right now? What drained me today? What gave me energy? Where did I say yes but mean no? Where did I stay silent to avoid discomfort? Write it down. This is recovery. Take yourself seriously. Eat before you are starving. Rest before you collapse. Speak before resentment hardens. Leave before disrespect becomes normal. Protect your time before it disappears. And do one more important thing. Notice who only likes you when you are easy. This will hurt, but it will clarify your life. Some people love your heart. Others only love your convenience. Healing will reveal the difference. And that revelation, painful as it may be, is mercy. Now let us go deeper. Why is it so difficult to stop being too nice? Because somewhere inside, there is often a frightened part of you that believes, if I become more honest, I will be abandoned. So when you begin setting boundaries, speaking clearly, and protecting your energy, old fears rise up. You may feel selfish, mean, unkind, ungrateful, hard, but sometimes those feelings come not because you are wrong, but because you are unfamiliar to yourself. For years, your identity may have been built on being the one who understands, the one who forgives, the one who stays, the one who helps, the one who absorbs. Now you are becoming someone new, the one who also chooses themselves. That feels strange at first, but strange is not wrong. Let me say something that may heal you. You do not need to become less loving. You need to become more honest. Honest kindness sounds like this. I care about you, but I can't do that. I love you, but this behavior is hurting me. I understand your pain, but I cannot carry it for you. I want peace, but not at the cost of my self-respect. I am kind, but I am not available for mistreatment. This is mature love. Immature love says, I will destroy myself so you never feel uncomfortable. Mature love says, I will speak truthfully so both of us have a chance to grow. That includes romantic love, family love, friendship, work relationships, everywhere. If you are too nice at work, people will keep giving you more because you never say no. If you are too nice in friendship, you may become the unpaid therapist. If you are too nice in love, you may become the one who keeps understanding while the other person keeps taking. Then you tell yourself, I just need to be more patient. Sometimes you do not need more patience. You need more truth. The longer you delay truth, the more painful it becomes. A small boundary today prevents a large explosion later. A calm no today prevents deep resentment tomorrow. A clear conversation today prevents emotional distance next month. So please understand, boundaries do not destroy relationships. Unspoken resentment does. Truth does not ruin healthy love. Pretending does. And saying no does not make you unkind. Saying yes when your heart is screaming no is what slowly breaks you. If this message touches you deeply, it may be because you are finally tired of carrying a role that no longer fits your soul. Maybe you are tired of being the strong one, the understanding one, the easy one, the one who never asks for much. Maybe you are ready to be real. If so, start gently. Do not try to change your whole life in one day. Choose one boundary, one honest sentence. Zone delayed response, one moment of checking in with yourself before helping someone else. That is enough. Healing is not loud. it is often quiet. A pause, a breath, a truthful sentence, a new choice repeated with love. Remember this. People who truly love you may need time to adjust to the new you. That is okay. The right people will not need you to disappear in order to stay. The right people will not punish you for having limits. The right people may be surprised, but they will learn, and your real relationships will become stronger, not weaker, because they will finally include the truth. As for the people who leave when you stop over, let them reveal themselves. A door closing on manipulation is not a tragedy. It is protection. In the end, your life will become lighter, not because fewer people need you, but because you no longer need to betray yourself to feel worthy. And that is the true beginning of peace. So tonight, before you sleep, sit quietly for a moment and ask yourself, where in my life am I being kind from fear? Where am I saying yes to avoid rejection? Where am I pretending to be okay? What would love look like if it included me too? Do not judge the answers. Just listen, because beneath all the guilt, beneath all the old conditioning, beneath the smiling mask, there is still a self waiting patiently for you. A self that does not want to be admired for being endlessly nice. A self that wants to be free. Honest, calm, respected, whole. And that self is not selfish. That self is sacred. So be gentle, be clear, be loving, but do not keep abandoning yourself in the name of peace. A peaceful life built on self-betrayal is not peace. It is quiet suffering. Real peace begins when your kindness and your truth finally walk together, and when that day comes, you will discover something beautiful. You do not lose love by becoming real. You lose the relationships that required your silence, and you make room for the ones that can finally honor your soul.